जिन तूफानों में तुम जैसों के झोपड़े उड़ जाया करते हैं, हम उन्हीं तूफानों में अपने कपड़े सुखाया करते हैं।
It was 2021 when I told my mom I was going to watch Hollywood's mega blockbuster hit movie Dune with friends. But to my absolute surprise, she coldly retorted, "No need, we have Dune at home." At first, I didn't understand what she was talking about, but then upon opening YouTube TV, I realized what she meant. There was indeed a 2010 international Bollywood film called Kajraare, starting with a picturesque landscape of a desert with a man in the middle of it, wearing hijab until he reveals the face of the formidable Himesh Reshammiya. I thanked my spirits for getting to watch this film before Dune, which is why today I want to show you 7 reasons why Himesh Reshammiya made Dune way before Dune and why it was much better. Reason number 1, location. For some god-forsaken reason, Dune director Denis Villeneuve thought it was an unprecedented decision to film his story on unknown planets other than Earth. Although Matt Damon and Christopher Nolan have already done this a long time ago, this decision only puts mankind's treasures like Oscar Isaac and Rebecca Ferguson to unnecessary risk. The result is unwanted logistical problems and an atrociously high budget, which explains why they went out of funds to color grade some footage that has been left black and white in the sequel. Had Villeneuve gotten a glimpse of Kajraare, it would have convinced him that we are still capable of sculpting good stories here on Earth. Himesh's aura as Earth's greatest hero reigns supreme as he travels to the Middle East to tell a story we can relate to when it comes to geopolitics and biology. Last video I had spoken of how Reshammiya went to Kenya to film Cars, and at this point I am noting how he is annexing global territories one by one. Check out the cards above to catch up on his conquests if you haven't. Reason number 2, better sand. Look, I'm no sand expert, but anybody with little knowledge of it would realize that running sand once inhaled by Himesh Reshammiya purifies itself upon exhalation. This explains why the sand you see in Kajraare is so unique and interesting. It bears the mark of being stamped upon by Himesh's incredible sprints through the desert. On the other hand, the sand in Dune is unfortunately of weak, inferior quality.
We can't walk like regular humans. If we do, we're dead.
The actors have to literally walk in weird ways to even get past it because its grains can't bear the weight. Reason number 3, a hero's vocal abilities.
Don't you dare touch my mother. Don't talk.
While Timothee Chalamet desperately tries to use his voice to assert power, Himesh's voice is an invocation of romance and poetic ideals. You may notice Timothee's voice being at times desperately deep,
Remove her gag.
like an edgy teen trying to be masculine but not possessing the softness of being able to sing, whereas Himesh's nasal melodies tell the tales of a man longing for connection and insight in the middle of a desert. This ultimately renders Chalamet's voice as a horrible attempt at manliness, unlike Himesh's ability to attract a suitable high-value female of his choice by virtue of his spontaneous, sensitive voice. Reason number 4, combat skills. Himesh Reshammiya in Kajraare is an innocent child of Earth. Unlike heartless Timothee, Himesh acts convincingly vulnerable to being outmaneuvered by Pakistani terrorists and intelligentsia, making for a compelling yet unconventional underdog fighting style backed up by the nuances of a mouth-breathing hero. In order to deal with armed men on a flight, Himesh flashes his bright brown hair, whose individually variable strands stun his opponents before he can put them down for good. Similarly, Himesh is excellent with defense as he can dodge bullets, while Timothee also tries his best to better his style. He's very lazy and waits for his opponent to hurt him before he gets to fire back. This risky strategy might work with the weirdos in his world, but I'm sure Himesh will obliterate the guy if they ever got to duel. Reason number 5, better actress. Pakistani actress Mona Lisa, whose name is a subtle dig at Western civilization's most beautiful woman, is a much sought after female player in Kajraare because she effortlessly complements Himesh's overbearing masculinity by acting as feminine as possible. On the other hand, Dune Zendaya just doesn't get it. She acts like a Western feminist instead, embarrassingly competing with Timothy when it comes to who the man of the film is. I observe this again and again. She just mansplains all the damn time. She even refuses to acknowledge Timothy when he's become Messiah and walks out of the room. I get that none of us are jumping with joy upon seeing this, but you are his co-stars, Zendaya. Is that the way to respect your cast and crew when they are just trying to act out their role? If this goes on, I'm pretty sure Hollywood alongside the entire Western civilization is heading to its end. Reason number 6, better story. I am aware that some of you might have a worm fetish, so the idea of an entire community seducing a worm to come might appeal to you. But I'd rather watch a hot-blooded Sigma male like Himesh seducing a beautiful woman in the middle of a desert. I admit that the worm's dances in the middle of the film are adorable, but as a straight male, maybe it's just me, that the sight of a good-natured dancing woman generally seems to strike a bigger chord. Reason number 7, better chemistry. Back in 2010, when Timothy and Zendaya were babies probably learning chemistry in school, Himesh was busy creating chemistry with his actresses. The level of attention Zendaya gives Timothy reminds me of my own crushes, whereas Himesh reminds me of the dude who charmed all the aforementioned crushes back in the day, leaving me alone in a cold world. In conclusion, I think I've gathered enough mental fuel and intellectual momentum to consider this video the start of a series on Himesh versus the world, with Dune just managing to prove that is a worthy round 1 opponent. Hit subscribe if you too would like to witness Himesh overcome other opponents of the Western civilization one by one until he faces off with the final boss, himself, in badass Ravikumar.